Good morning. I am Patricia Webb. Those are two pretty common names, but just in case, P-A-T-R-I-C-I-A, last name Webb, W-E-B-B.
And I'm Adria Webb, A-D-R-I-A, Webb, W-E-B-B.
Adria and I were married, like several of the other couples here today, in Iowa, City, Iowa, in March of 2010. We were on one of the marriage buses that were organized by Scott and Ed. We are here today and we are part of this litigation because we believe that as citizens of the state of Missouri, we should be afforded the same protections that any heterosexual couple should be. We have been basically slighted in those rights, and we feel that it is actually an affront to the sanctity of our union. We agree that we would be married as the natural progression of a committed relationship. We agreed that basically when we first met. We met when I was helping to produce a musical show with a local DJ here in St. Louis, and Adria was scheduled to be the vocalist for that performance. I was told that she has a beautiful voice and a beautiful face, so of course I was going to be at that rehearsal that day. Before I could even get to hear or to see how beautiful this woman was actually, I got to meet two of probably the coolest kids I've ever met in my entire life. At that time, they were 7 and 8 years old, a boy and a girl. And after having discussed the benefits of being a velociraptor as opposed to being a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and reading banners across the chalkboard about my mommy being the greatest in the whole wide world, I fell in love with those two kids. And then I got to see probably the most beautiful person I've ever met in my entire life, and that's this woman standing beside me. And I could say, it could be cliche, I should say I fell in love at that moment. I didn't, but it wasn't very long before I did. Decided that I was going to spend the rest of my life loving her, taking care of her, providing for her, and those two kids. And because Missouri does not recognize our marriage, those same rights that are afforded to heterosexual couples without preamble, without documentation, without any kind of additional legal aspect, we are not afforded that. And if something were to happen to me in a medical situation, or to her for that reason, we would have to go through several other legal steps in order to make sure that she became an integral part of taking care of me, making decisions based on what was necessary for me to recuperate. And I feel that it's unjust. This is the place where we are citizens. This is the place where we have our passions, our roots. We have our commitments here in the state of Missouri. And because we decided to bring our ultimate commitment to each other here, to this place, we feel that Missouri should recognize our marriage and should afford us those same protections. No, nothing? And additionally, we feel that our two children should not have to fight this battle for us. They should not have to go before anyone and say that my mommies are legally married. That should be a given because we have decided to commit. We've decided to live here in Missouri. We've decided to abide by its laws and its constitutions, but only its constitution in the right that it gives us the same protections that it gives heterosexual couples. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Leroy Fitzwater, L-E-R-O-Y, last name Fitzwater, F-I-T-Z-W-A-T-E-R.
And I am Alan Ziegler, A-L-A-N-Z-I-E-G-L-E-R.
We'd like to take a few moments this morning to explain why this suit is so important to us. First, a little bit about us. Alan grew up in Southeast Missouri, and I grew up outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We met back in January 2001 when we both lived in California. I was a resident of California since 1997, going to grad school, and Alan moved to California in 2000 for his career. We started dating and found that we shared a strong bond in having our families an important element in our lives. We were married in 2008 in California at Stanford Memorial Church, with many family and friends in attendance representing 11 different states. This was during the short and contentious period of time between when the California Supreme Court issued its decision allowing marriage for same-sex couples, but before Prop 8 was approved by voters. As you may be aware, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned California Prop 8 in June of last year, clearing the way for marriage for same-sex couples to resume in California. When we married in California, we did so with the intention of continuing to build our lives together there, which we did until late of 2013. My employer, however, needed my skills here in St. Louis, Missouri, so we have recently relocated for my career. While Alan welcomed the idea of returning home to Missouri, we did not look forward to giving up the protections of our marriage. While in California, we grew accustomed to these protections. Specifically, while we were in the process of selling our home and arranging movers for the work-related relocation, I came down with appendicitis and needed to have emergency surgery. My parents lived 3,000 miles away.
His parents lived 3,000 miles away, and they were very thankful not only that I was there during the time, but that the hospital and the staff, the doctors and the nurses, respected our relationship, our marriage. I was with Leroy through every part of his hospitalization, and was with him. I was able to hold his hand on his way to the operating room, only to be separated when they wheeled him through the doors to the room. Not only are the protections from our marriage important to us, they are important to our families as well. They gave Leroy's parents peace of mind, being so far away, that our marriage was respected. Now, as we live in Missouri, our marriage is not recognized. We no longer have the protections our parents enjoyed and that we had earlier last year. As our parents travel from state to state, they are considered married in every state they travel to. For Leroy and myself, in some states we are married, in other states we are not. It is important that we have the protections provided by our marriage in the state where we work and live. Thank you for your time and attention this morning. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.